Hi guys, Bran here, and welcome to a different kind of video today. Today we're going to be examining a hot take that's kind of going around the DBD community right now, having to do with our brand new killer Albert Wesker and his power. Because someone in the community, very, very reputable, is gaining a following with an idea that it may be due to entitlement that people are necessarily having issues with his power, even though in a lot of people's eyes the power is kind of just buggy. So we're going to talk about what side I'm on with that take, the evidence that supports that, and see where we go from there. So let's go ahead and get started. So the hot take came across my Twitter feed from Otofu of all people, a very, very storied and pillar of the community as a content creator. Otofu says that I love the changes to the Wesker's power. Feels so much better than the PTB. I actually love precision required to land hits. And this is something I echoed as a sentiment in my own Twitch streams, because if you've been around with the channel for a long time, whether that be on the Twitch or YouTube side of things or both, you know my favorite killers are Huntress and Hillbilly, which are probably the highest precision required characters in the game, aside from people like maybe Oni. They require a lot of precision. Hitting hard shots and the hype of that is what brings me to the game and what makes me continue to enjoy the game. It's one of my favorite things about Dead by Daylight is the cool precision attacks that those killers can do. So in theory, I should be all over Wesker and really, really enjoying him by, the status quo of this tweet. But this is where, the fork in the road begins. This is where we split off in different directions, because Tofu also says that my spicy take is that killers have been too spoiled by Demo in his gargantuan BS shred hitbox, and this one feels way more fair. Now, if you don't know why this is an issue, why that may kind of immediately strike you as strange, there's an issue going on with Albert Wesker right now where he can quite literally hit a survivor straight on. And I do mean straight on, like the survivor's dead middle, like right between your eyes, and you can go and you can hit him in the middle of your power, in the middle of your leap, and you will instead slide off. Despite the fact that they are in dead middle of your screen, despite that there are instances where you will quite literally slide off the survivor. Like you are quite literally bumping off the person you're supposed to be hitting, and they're being treated as like an obstacle, as like something that's like you can slide off with collision. And obviously that shouldn't be happening. Now, the backstory to this is that in the PTB, Wesker did have a really huge hitbox. He had one of those big Hunter's blimp hitboxes, and you can see that by this image up here provided by Dowsy. You can see on the left, this was the PTB hitbox for Wesker, which was incredibly forgiving, and it made it really, really hard to play against Wesker in the PTB from the survivor perspective, because there wasn't really a whole lot of counterplay to having a hitbox that big. If you've ever been hit by a really, really BS Huntress hatchet going around a corner or something like that, it was like that, except like all the time. It was not the greatest, and that's why Behavior ultimately made the choice to shrink it. And that's where it shows up on the right, where it goes from 40 centimeters to 20 centimeters respectively. So now you're only hitting the survivor basically at the center of your chest. Your arms basically don't count. That is where your hitbox is. So Otofu's take is that because people are trying to hit people on the outer edges of that hitbox where like his arms are, and they're just sliding off, they think that, that they're being cheated and it's actually just all killer entitlement. They want to have free hits. They want to have that big hitbox. And it can't be further from the truth, because in reality, there are plenty of instances where killers are going to be hitting their M2, going straight forward, and the survivor will be dead middle of their chest, dead middle of the 20 centimeter box. And instead they will slide off. I will show you an example of it happening right up here. There, you can see in this clip that he quite literally goes straight directly at the survivor. And despite the survivor quite literally being in the dead center, to the point where you're almost like seeing inside his model, you're so close to him, you end up sliding off of him. It's almost like Blight Collision in a weird way, where you try to bump into something, you end up sliding off of it. It's like a weird thing with that, except with a hitbox, which does not make sense. That should not be happening. You should not be in this scenario where somebody is dead center of your hitbox, as seen by the 20 centimeters, and having them slide off. There's just no real reason for it. I was really, really shocked to see this come across my feed, and that a lot of people were in fact buying into it, because this is it's just strange to me, because to me it's very, very obvious that like something is actually not working. To me, I saw a bug. I saw a bug happening. I didn't think that I didn't go to like killer versus survival entitlement. That's not where my brain went when I heard about this, or when I started seeing this, when I started experiencing. My brain didn't go to like the whole killer versus survivor whiny entitlement like side of things. Like, we talk about that a lot on this channel, and both on the Twitch and the YouTube. Like that's something I would gladly talk about in like the drop of a hat in a heartbeat, because I feel like the community has a lot of work to do to become a better community, more welcoming in general. But I don't think this is what's happening. I think it's clear by the clip that I showed and the multiple clips. This is just that one. It's happening in my streams. It's happening in everybody. It's everybody who plays this character is interacting with this, right? That you're hitting people dead on, and for some reason you're sliding off. They're getting within the 20 centimeter hitbox, and the game is having a hard time registering it, like for whatever reason. And it gets even more confusing because Wesker has a ton of bugs, not just this one. There's plenty of times where you'll grab someone and then you drop them without injuring them for some reason. You just kind of like grab them, pick them up, and politely set them back down. And you know it hit because it gave them the infection. It gave them the Ouroboros infection. So the game registered it as a hit, and you know that for sure. And then they just set them back down politely for some reason. There's a lot of bugs with this character outside of this. So I just don't know why this was the takeaway, that it's an entitlement thing. And I don't know why people bought into that. It's just confusing to me. So I don't know. To me, it seems like just like there's some sort of like weird bug with how it's like, I don't know, maybe it's something to do with like the fact that you're like moving at high speed and you're just gliding past them, and it's just like the hitbox kind of gets like kerfuffled because you're moving so fast. I don't know. It could be plenty of things. Trying to like untangle like behaviors like the spaghetti code is like, good luck if you can figure that out and figure out what's going on with that. Good luck, Godspeed if you can figure out exactly why it's not working. But to me, I saw a bug. So I don't know. And now, I guess to his credit, I think that this is, I'll give him I'll throw a bone out here. I think to his credit and to the people that agree with this tweet is that, yeah, like like he is a lot harder to hit. And obviously, like we showed with the box, if you're hitting survivors at like the far edge, like where your hand is, like as Wesker, like you're probably not going to hit him with the 20 centimeter hitbox. And that is going to frustrate a lot of people. And you can err on the side of like, well, maybe it should be that precise. But my takeaway, my gripe with it, is the kind of like the blanket statement, is that all killers are just being entitled and whiny. And that's why they're upset and kind of ignoring this bug of how you can have somebody dead center of your screen within the actual hitbox and it's still not registering, among other intense, horrible bugs that this character has going on at the moment. Honestly, Wesker has probably as many bugs as the twins had when they released, which is, that's a feat in itself because, man, were the twins horribly bugged. But yeah, I want to know what you guys think about this. Do you think it's killer entitlement and that's the reason that people are upset about the hitbox with Wesker, or do you think like more on what I'm thinking, where it's like, well, clearly there's some sort of like weird interaction here that's not happening as it's supposed to. It might be a bug because it doesn't make sense that there's somebody within the hitbox and it's just not hitting. So let me know down in the comments below which side you were on. I would like to hear your thoughts because this was just like a weird take. I like no harm, no foul to anybody involved. I'm actually just like, I have nothing against anybody who agrees with this or posted whatever. It's just it actually legitimately, like, I was like, what? How can somebody have that opinion? So it legitimately caught me off guard. So let me know what side you sit on. But other than that, that's gonna be it for today's video, friends. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. And if I don't, I'll see you and I see you. Goodbye.